fighting game guy, so
Yeah, that's fair. What
He has to
about the
fight with us
Coco
every
Melon
Friday.
games? The Coco Melon game on Switch. Real
It's a
hidden gem.
Coco Melon game.
Yeah,
There is a
weird
bluey
pop
one.
tops.
I've been debating getting it for my daughter, but I don't know if she's
I
going to be
have
into it or
heard that
not.
it's not good, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we're live
Which
on
was
YouTube,
a huge
and I
bummer
think
because I
we're
was
live on
excited for
Twitch.
Bluey.
We are. There's our smiling faces.
I've got Twitch up, and I've got the Who's Tube up as well.
Who's Tube?
Great.
The
Hell
Who's
yeah.
Tube. The
Hang
Use
on, I gotta
Tubes.
tilt my camera down a little bit. Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, hold on.
What's up,
One thing I
Bridget?
should check is, did I line everybody's names up? Probably
Love
not. Let me
you.
see. Let me
I don't
see.
even think our names are on here.
Wow, look at that. Without even doing anything, they're there. Perfect. Okay.
You're a Use Tubes subcentress.
Hey, Sinstress.
Got him. Fucking got
Yeah,
him.
Fucking got him. Sorry, YouTube. Okay. We're ready to
We
go?
were a few seconds in. We're good now.
Yeah, we're good. It's a 60-second rule, right? It's just like when you drop food in the ground, you get 60 seconds, then you can swear. It's just the same thing, right?
Yes.
That's
I
the
wait 60
hour rule.
seconds. Every time I drop food on the ground, I wait 60 seconds to swear.
Did you
Wait,
just say
60
8-hour
seconds or 60
rule?
minutes? Oh, I said the 1 hour rule.
1 hour rule.
You drop that slice of pie on the floor, you got 60 minutes and you're good. It's okay.
Yeah.
Sit down and wait. Gonna age all the
I mean-
grossness off of it.
I mean, you got a box of pizza sitting on the counter all day. It's still good. I mean, it's fine.
That's
It's
true.
like, you don't
It's
get
even better when it
penicillin
sits
until
out.
when, right?
Sometimes it's better the next day.
That's true.
Okay.
To your message,
Ooh,
Wolf, I
that's a
don't want to
good
break
one.
something by going to it, but yes, you did talk about that game already.
Okay.
But it's okay. We all have short attention spans. We probably don't remember. So if you want to do it again, I don't think anybody's going to mind.
Sometimes I forget whole days, so.
Oh, man.
All
Oh,
right.
Rack my brain for a few.
dude,
well,
Aaron, thank you. You gave me one.
Oh.
Hell yeah. Here's another one. Boom.
Boom.
No. It's not the ones you mentioned. But
Okay. I'm glad at least
There you
one.
go.
Like I
Oh, wow.
threw something at the wall that stuck.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, if we're good, I didn't think of an opening line.
In the immortal
Okay.
words of Rihanna, shine bright
Work,
like
work,
a
work.
diamond.
Oh.
These are hidden gems again.
Today on.
we fell in love at a hopeless place.
Don't lyricize over the open.
Yeah, don't quote Rihanna over the intro. Oh, boy.
Your face reflects.
Welcome. Oh, shush. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Press Me to Cancel, your favorite podcast for the next 60 minutes. After that, we lose steam. Or at least that's what I'm told in bed. This week, we are joined by a special guest, which we'll get to in a minute. But we'll start with the usual crew. Chard, how you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm good. You can go a whole 60, huh?
Well, I do have 3 kids. Wolf, you got some kids, or at least one.
Touche, touche.
How are
I
you
got
doing this
one.
week?
I am doing all right. I won't be doing as well tomorrow after 4 hours of yard work, like I said today, but I'm doing okay right
Oof.
now. I made it
Yeah.
down the stairs and back up. I'll be fine.
That's a win.
That's all we need at our age, honestly. Just a
That's what I
couple
was gonna say.
stairs.
That's a big win in our age. I made it up the stairs and felt good about it. So
Rip
Only
to
one knee
those
creaks.
calves.
I'm good.
No, it's the
And
knees,
then we're also
man.
joined
It's
by
the knees.
a special guest this week, Aaron from Superpod Saga. Thanks for joining this week, Aaron. How about say hi and tell people about your show?
Hello, yeah, thanks for having me. It's cool to be here. You guys got I saw you had an RC cola vending machine out in the lobby of the old Press B to Cancel studio. So that's really, holy shit, Wolf just like jumped out of his chair. What the
Yeah,
He's roaming again.
he's roaming.
I looked away
One
for
man
a
wolf pack.
second.
I went to get a can of RC Cola.
We didn't realize that it was refilled. We were excited about getting some more stuff.
Gosh, do we
I
have a
almost thought
budget for
about
that?
bringing up. I thought about bringing up like Big Red or something, but I
There
don't
you
want to.
go.
I don't want to like disgrace your show.
Big
Of
League
course.
Chew.
Isn't Big Red
Ooh,
like
Big
the
Red Chew.
off-brand Dr. Pepper?
It's like
That's Dr. Thunder.
Dr. Thunder?
Is it Big
Okay.
Red
That's
the gum?
Walmart brand.
no,
Yeah, I
no,
thought Big Red was a gum.
It is. It's also like a soda. It's like a red cream soda. And it's labeled as such too, red cream soda, but it's weird. It doesn't taste like cream soda. Probably just because it's red though. It's got that like Robitussin in it. A little shot of Robitussin in it or something.
See,
Speaking
up
of
here,
cream
cream soda
sodas.
is clear, and if it's not clear, I can't stand it. But I don't even know if you can buy clear cream soda anymore. I don't think you can.
I don't think so. Isn't like
We're
A&W
sponsored by
kind of
Dr.
like?
Pepper.
I think
anyways.
Jones soda is clear.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jones' Soda. Okay, they're still clear.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's a Canadian thing, like for the longest time, because we have Canada Dry, but Canada Dry used to do a cream soda when I was a kid, and it used to be clear. I used to like that stuff. That's the Canadian content requirement for the hour.
I'd hate to see Canada wet.
Wow. We are also getting rain apparently tomorrow, and I also have yard work to do. So, but my yard is nowhere near as big as Wolf's. That's okay. What are we doing today? Oh, okay. So it's been a long week.
We're shining bright like a dime.
We are shining bright like a diamond. So April Fools, we did an episode on hidden gems that obviously were, as a gag, were not actually hidden. But we did, after that episode, want to actually have a real hidden gems episode again. For reals this time. Games that are actually hidden gems, and GP's not here to fuck it up with his pick. So we're not going to get something stupid like Final Fantasy Tactics. No. This time, pure 100% hidden gems. GP, we
Even
love you.
Aaron's in on the meme now. Fantastic. Let's go.
It's so good. I mean, it's funny. It's up there with Tunnels and Poor Sinistar. So let's look at, I guess, who wants to talk or give their pick first for hidden gem. Who wants to start?
I'm going to go first because every time we do this, Jake steals mine.
Great. So Wolf, you want to start?
Son of a bitch. Oh, no, I'm going first because I'm tired of getting usurped Canadian
fuck
dictator.
you, sir.
I'm not going to
Okay.
steal your pick. I haven't even played your pick. I don't even know what they are. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We
you
had to
start.
do studies to make sure that we indeed these two don't seem like they'd be hidden gems to me because of my community and my play style. It just seems like something that would be out there, but I do have two, but I'm going to pick the first one here and go with Madison. Madison is a first-person horror. It's not really a survivor game because you just survive. It's not like Resident Evil where you are trying to find stuff to survive.
Oh.
It's basically a big world of a story that you are in, and it's full of jump scares and full of terror, and you are only armed with a Polaroid camera to take pictures of the demons and try and fight them off. So essentially,
So
you come into your house.
Fatal Frame?
It's kind of Fatal Framey, but one of the more terrifying games that I've played. You come into your house and you're locked in a room, and you eventually break out and you find this camera that's got, I believe, your name, Luca, on it, written in some kind of pin that your grandma left for you, but you can't find grandma because grandma is too busy being fucking possessed by some awful demon and is roaming around the house trying to scare you. Now, this house is elaborate and huge and very dark and twisted. And there's also a demon called Blue Knees, which is one of the more frightening things that I've seen since my days of Visage. But yeah, this game messed me up. It was quite terrifying. Had a lot of good jump scares on it, and I don't know. It's a great play, and I would recommend this to anybody who's into any kind of horror type fashion game. I guess we would call it. It's not survival horror. It's a psychological horror game that messes with your mind as you play it. That's the path that they take.
Nice.
You said armed with a camera, like a Polaroid. So are you a paparazzi or something? Like, how does this work? How is that a weapon for you in this game? Is it a
It's
weapon?
not
I
really a
assume.
weapon.
Hold on.
You just beat him with it. Just
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
smash. Die
But
zombie.
based on other horror games I've played, I'm assuming it's used to sort of keep the spirits or entities at bay a little bit.
Yes, there
The
is.
flash.
The flash is used to kind of help ward off some of the things that do come at you, but it's not in the same use as Visage. For most of you who've seen or played Visage, most of you should know about that because I've played it a couple times with you guys. But it's not used as so much as a light source as the one in Visage is. This one is used to solve puzzles. So you'll take a picture of something and something will show up in the camera that you don't see with your actual eyes. So you pull it
Okay.
out and you do the Polaroid flip thing, and it'll have
That's
something
cool.
that you couldn't catch. If you take a picture of the demon with it, then it comes out black and red, like you can't see anything in the frame. So there's a lot of the times where you're trying to fight something off that's coming at you real fast. And like for instance, like
Just
this scene
now,
that
yeah.
you pulled up here. Yeah.
You guys are a little bit behind me on the
so
delay, so I just got the pants scared off me. That's great, Jared. Thanks.
yeah, it is
Great pick.
horrifying. It is extremely well designed. And there's a lot of sections where you kind of time travel in this game. It's a total mess. Let me completely it's just a mess. Like you're in a house, but you freaking go everywhere in the world. And there's some really, really, really stressful situations that come through with this game. It's beautifully done. It's fairly recent. I think it's only like 3 years old or something like that. But if you are really into getting this pants scared off of you while trying to solve puzzles, would highly suggest playing this game. It has great potential, and it is quite horrifying.
Nice.
Would recommend.
One of the first things that I saw upon Googling the game was that terrifying little demon guy with the little red, almost clown nose and the horrifying sharp teeth. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Looks
That
pretty
would be
spooky.
Blue Knees. Blue Knees is terrible. There's actually a song in the game that's played on like a 1920s fucking record, and it plays all over and it's this high pitched singing voice with the crackling, record going on, and it's awful. It's awful, and it's terrifying. There are a few games that I can honestly say that have really
Ew.
kept me up at night. Visage obviously being the top of the list for that. Alien Isolation, which I would have easily picked, but knowing that is not a hidden gem because it is super popular, is another one. But this one is no slouch. It is quite the contender for both Alien and Visage, with its ability to just scare the absolute living piss out of you, and keep it fresh. Like it very much keeps things fresh, and the difficulty level isn't too hard, I don't think. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. There were a few things that I got hung up on, but we seem to kind of soldier through it. So if you are brave enough to continue fighting through all that crap, then it's not a bad finish. It's a really good game. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know, Char, when we talked about this before the show, you were trying to figure out if it was actually a hidden gem or not. Because like this is your jam. Like these are the kind of games that you like to play. I mean, you play all kinds of horror games, and I had heard of this game only because of you. But we had looked at Steam charts for tracking to see how popular this game is on Steam. Its all-time peak players was 384. So not a whole lot of people have played this game, or at least playing it concurrently, and that's probably back when it came out. So this is, I think, the definition of a hidden gem, right? Just the way you explained it and explained this game and the horror element. The graphics look outstanding. The atmosphere is creepy as hell. I mean, it got jump scared at me, and I'm not even freaking playing the game. I just watching the footage. But I mean, so few people playing this. It sucks that a game like this, where it's obviously a lot of work and polish went into this game, that so few people are playing it. So I think this is the very definition of a hidden gem.
Sweet. Yeah, I worry about these. A lot of the horror games that I play, I feel like within the horror gaming community, people would know about it. Like this just seems like a standard. Yeah, oh yeah, fucking Madison. It's right up there with all these other
Fucking
psychological
Madison.
horror games. Yeah, it's just Madison, And I had to ask Jake because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't picking something like, because we were like, well, Phasmo, but Phasmo is clearly not a hidden gem. It is extremely popular and has ushered in numerous ghost hunting type games beyond that. So I kind of tongue in cheek was like, oh, I wonder where Phasmo, and he was talking about like the millions. And then he looked at these
Damn.
numbers and he was like, yeah, 400. And I went, that is far too low for how good of a game this is.
Well, it's interesting because like 10 years ago, the idea of ghost hunting being a genre of video games, it's just unheard of, right? I don't think there's any that go back that far, but definitely in the last couple of years, it's really taken off. I mean, there's definitely a whole niche for this in the horror games market, and Phasmo is super popular. I think there's Sons of the Forest, but they're all like online games or co-op games, whereas this is just strictly single player, right? And it's very
Right. Yeah, this
puzzle-focused.
is not a group gaming. This is a single player solo mission kind of run. So if you're feeling brave, it's real good for Halloween. I'll tell you what, it's real good for Halloween.
Yeah. How
That's
long
awesome,
is it?
man.
Is it a long game?
I think it took us 2 streams to do it, and I played maybe 6 hours,
Okay.
2 or 3.
Good size.
That's not bad.
It's a good amount. I wouldn't. 10 hours maybe.
That's
Maybe.
pretty good for a horror game. We
Yeah.
Yeah.
we just over here on Superpod, we just did an episode on horror games earlier this month. I don't think we ever mentioned that game. Like the two dudes that I did the episode with, they're huge into horror games. I don't think we ever mentioned that game ever. We even brought up
If you ever need
Siren
another,
of all
if you
things.
have another horde game enthusiast on your channel, Mr. Aaron, I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Doors
all
open.
about it. I love it. I
Doors
love those
always
games.
open. No RC Cola though. Sorry, I don't.
Oh, well,
I don't have
I'll
enough
just-
for that.
I'll just bring a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper with me. It's fine.
Yes.
You want a real horror story? You look at that case of Dr. Pepper. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think
Covered in
Aaron is
dust.
Canadian because he likes Dr. Pepper.
No.
'cause
Do
he
you
gets
like Dr.
British.
Pepper?
I do. That's like a main staple in our household. Is it really?
Shut it down. Shut it
Is it
down.
really
Shut it
a
down.
Canada
Streams
thing?
are over.
Just
Thanks, everybody.
when you said
We'll
RC
say
Cola, I was
something-
all on board. I
Say
love RC
something cute
Cola.
so we can leave.
RC Cola is good. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Like I don't mind. Like any soda I can get behind as long as it's not like I'm struggling to think of one that I don't like, honestly.
What was the one? that
Big
just had a
Red,
name
maybe?
change.
I don't know.
The one you brought up earlier.
Big
Yeah.
Red.
So
What's
you
the
know
one
what? I
that's,
hate Canada Dry. I hate that shit.
You don't like ginger ale, Chard? You don't like good taste? Is that what it is? You don't
Mountain
like the
Dew.
original?
I like Mountain Dew.
Oh
Really? I don't
man.
mind Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh. Mountain Dew's good.
I mean, the one down
I'm
there,
also-
you guys have caffeine in yours. We don't have caffeine in ours. We do now, but it's Mountain Dew Energy.
What the
To
fuck
get around
else
the
is in
laws.
Mountain Dew but caffeine?
Just
It's
sugar.
sugar.
I just thought it was
Yeah.
lime green caffeine.
No,
thought it
there was a law up here. I think it's gone now, but there was a law before the energy drink craze where you couldn't have caffeine in non-cola pop. So Coke and root beer were fine if you want caffeine, but you couldn't do it in Sprite, for example. And Mountain Dew was one of the ones you couldn't do it for. So for the
Sprite
longest
makes
time, Mountain
sense,
Dew
yeah.
up here was caffeine free. So that's great.
That's
Huh.
wild.
It's different now. It's different now.
No wonder you don't have good taste. Everything's fucked up there. It makes
Look.
so much more sense now. It's
We got
too
everything you
sweet
do.
because you've been drinking fucking sugar zero fucking everything.
I don't know.
We
All
are
right,
totally
fine.
off base here. Who wants to go next with their hidden gem?
The real horror.
Oh, crap. I'm
The
stealing
tangent.
this ship of fools back into the goddamn ocean.
We'll just keep going around the circle. Wolf, how about you? What's yours? Okay, okay, hold on one
Mine-
sec. Sinistar from chat is saying, is root beer cola? No, asshole, it's not a cola, but it's still a darkly colored
beer
caramel
also-
color
I don't-
pop. And it
I don't
counts
believe
in
root beer
Canada.
has caffeine in it either.
Barks
some
does.
do. Yeah,
Barks
Barks,
does.
Yeah.
Barks has bite.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the idea.
Thank you.
I think Mug doesn't have caffeine because my wife used to drink Mug when she was
No.
pregnant because she had to watch your caffeine when you're pregnant.
Mhm.
But
And
yeah,
we get
Barks
Mug,
she
we get
couldn't touch.
Mug and AMW. I don't think AMW
A&W.
has caffeine in either.
Nope. Just
I'm not sure.
Sparks. And like some
My
other
dad's
Wow.
root beer is one we used to get, or IBC root beer is one we used to get when we went to the US. I love that
IBC.
stuff.
That's God tier. IBC is
Yeah.
God tier.
Wow, we're so off the rails.
What?
We are sorry.
Wolf,
Yeah, we
what's
I'm
your-
sorry.
What's your pick?
All right.
Go ahead, Wolf.
Oh, geez. What
Holy
was the name of
shit.
my game?
Madison.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
I'm drawing a blank on it.
It's-
I know it's a
it's-
horror game for the PS2.
Is it
Fatal
is it
Frame.
something that a
Forbidden
diamond does?
Siren.
Does it shine
Haunting Ground.
bright like a diamond?
It starts
Haunting
with an
Ground.
H.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Haunting ground.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's you were talking
It
about
was
that one. I thought
Haunting
you were
Ground.
yeah.
So Haunting Ground is my hidden gem, and I think this is a game that sold less than 100,000 copies worldwide.
Wow. That is a hidden gem.
Like, It's for a PS2 game released by Capcom, like that is not high sales numbers at all.
no.
There was a bunch of those that did that. Like there was that, Rule of Rose. Oh, what was that like? Chew on? Like I think it was just called
Oh,
Chew
Tulip.
On. No, not Tulip.
Not Tulip.
No.
I wonder. I
the fuck
often
is
wonder
it
why you're looking
called?
this up. Like, if games like this were just part of the oversaturation of
I think so.
Capcom's horror tank control kind of games, because I didn't hear about this until you said something about it, Wolf.
Yeah.
And so I went and looked it up, and I went, "Whoa, this is cool looking. What the hell is this all about?" So I wonder if it's.
I've said this before. I'm not a huge horror gamer, and the reason is because I love the ideas that these horror games tend to present. I'm a huge chicken shit when playing horror games by myself in a room, so that's why. But this one, I didn't know at the time. Essentially, like internally, it was referred to as Clock Tower 3.
Okay.
That makes
So
sense.
that'll give you an idea. Some of you who've ever played Clock Tower 2, you'll have an idea of how this works. But essentially you're playing as a girl who wakes up after a car accident in a castle. No idea what's going on. She has no idea what's happened to her family, any of this, right?
That's how I got into the
But-
podcast.
Very quickly she comes across this dog that she releases, and so you go on your adventure is joined with a dog that you actually have to sort of train a little bit. Like the way you interact with it actually affects how it interacts back when you need its help,
Oh, that's cool.
which is really cool.
Yeah, that's a cool
So
mechanic.
you can negatively reinforce behaviors you don't want to see and positively reinforce behaviors you do want to see from it. And every once in a while you might accidentally hit the wrong button and then the dog feels bad. And you're like, oh no. But
What have I done?
essentially you're this girl, like she's 16, she's hypersexualized in this game, but that's kind of on purpose because all the characters in the game are hyper fixated on her as an object and not as a person. And so you're afraid of these other beings in the game because they're all just nut jobs. Like there's nothing good about any of them. They're all out there and just want to, like the first guy wants to play with her like she's a doll.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
kind of
just
weird.
this big dude who's like a gardener with chasing her around with like a chainsaw.
What to do?
And yeah. And it's essentially stuff like that. And in this game, you actually, like, as you're running away, you hear noises coming. You can go hide in stuff. So you can hide in a trunk or just behind a corner, like hidden by like a window screen or something like that. Like there's lots of things you can hide behind where you can see them sort of come and wander off or whatever. And hiding is a huge part of it. Yes, Sinistar, that is the case.
Yes.
All the characters represent the internet as a personality. But yeah, like as she starts getting scared, it messes with how you perceive the game. So
Oh,
it
shit.
drops the
Okay.
frame
Okay.
rate and it reduces color saturation.
On purpose?
And yes,
You sure that wasn't just a
That's
design flaw of
some
the
Eternal
PS2?
Darkness type shit.
no, that's
cool.
something
That's
that
cool.
it does on purpose as she's more
That's wild.
scared and more
Quit hating
hurt.
on the PS2, Jake.
It makes it hard to see what's going on so that you're like it inflicts the stress on the player too is what's
That's a
going
doesn't
on.
clever
it-
mechanic.
Doesn't it also make like it has like really
Artifacting?
heavy motion blur? Yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's heavy artifacting, so like when the frame rate is really low and her heartbeat is just through the roof, it's like every frame like is every half to full second and you're getting artifacting from all the previous frames as you're running. And
Oh,
so it
that's
just
cool.
makes it super blurry and hard to see what's happening.
Okay.
It's really cool. I love this game.
Yeah. That's very like Eternal Darkness kind of mess with your head.
A little
kind of
bit, yeah.
stuff. I like that.
I love the
That's
video that
cool.
we're watching. As for those who are listening to the audio podcast, on the video feed right now, there's an option to enter the hole, yes or no. Why would you ever enter the hole in a creepy castle?
Those holes are save rooms.
Are they?
Are they?
Or
They are.
Or like
Okay.
Silent Hill 4, you have that one in your bathroom or whatever. That you go to like
Yeah.
the hell world.
Yeah.
Where's
Why the hell
my
not?
hole? Enter
Yeah.
the hell hole.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm with Chard Wolf. When you mentioned this as your pick, I'm like, I never heard of this game. I have a gap in my retro memory, I guess, for PS2. I never had a PS2, so there's a lot of stuff there I missed out on. But then you said it was a Capcom game, and I'm like, I was
Right.
really surprised. 'Cause, yeah, like Chart, I've never heard. I mean, outside of Resident Evil, of course, and Silent Hill, but Resident Evil is like the franchise for horror for Capcom. I'm surprised they didn't advertise this more. I wonder, did it not? I guess it didn't sell very well. You said 100,000 units, which is low, but
It
It's
yeah,
super
it's like,
expensive now.
and
It's
Okay.
in the
ridiculous.
US, it sold like a fraction of what sold in Japan.
Right.
So
That's
it only sold
crazy.
like, I want to say 15, 20,000 units in North America. And so it's really expensive. I sold mine after I streamed it a few years ago.
Wow.
I was like, all right, I
And
played
you
through
paid
it
off your
all.
mortgage.
Yeah, I played through it all. I'm done with it. I'll sell it to somebody else. They can give me a bunch of money for it. But I pre-ordered this game. This was a game that I was super excited to get.
Hell
That's
yeah.
cool. I wonder if maybe it was on the tail end of some oversaturation with Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and because
Yeah.
we had Silent Hill 3 and we had how far did the Resident Evil 4 was on PS2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
I
think
think it
Four?
started on
five
PS4.
went beyond that, but I think we had
Yeah.
4 at the time too. We just and everybody was just eating up, the REs and the Silent Hills. I've always been more of a Silent Hill guy on the other side of the Resident Evil coin, but this I like the psychological mess with your head. I like when the game messes with the character and then in turn messes with you as the viewer to get that persona. Like, even though it's a third person look, it's still messing with your head while you're playing it. Like, do I need to, why is everything sepia? What the fuck's going on? I think
Yeah.
Sepia.
I
The
think that's
true
a really
horror.
cool.
Sepia
right.
tone.
Ah, it's sepia.
I'm taking Instagram pictures. What's going on? But
I'm gonna wake up in the
Um,
morning. Fucking,
and the
it's all
training.
sepia.
And the training of the dog too, I think, is a cool aspect as
It's
well.
really
That
neat.
it learns
Yeah.
as you play. I think.
Yeah,
That's-
you
this-
you give
this
it
is gonna have to go on
commands
the
so
list.
like it can go investigate little crevices that she can't get into or jump up on places she can't and get you items or whatever. So in the shot we just showed on the video, she sent the dog to jump up on this ledge that she wasn't able to get up and got a medallion for part of solving a puzzle.
That's cool, and it looks good for a PS2 game. It looks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
as a PS2 game, it looks good. It looks really, really well.
What are you
I mean, it
saying,
looks
Chart?
like a
PS2 is
Capcom.
not good looking. It's not an A-tier console. You say it
Don't
looks like
twist
shit.
my
Like,
words there,
Oh,
Sony
okay.
hater.
There's
Okay.
a few games that are late PS2 era that don't look like what I remember PS2 looking like, and this is one of them.
I think
Silent Hill 3 is the same way.
Yeah,
right.
It
Mhm.
does not
This
like when I
looks a
first
lot
saw
like
it, I
Silent
was
Hill
like,
to me.
I don't remember PS2 looking this good,
Right, right. This is a remaster? No, this is the actual game.
I'm gonna say,
Mhm.
like, for Resident Evil, I did like Resident Evil quite a bit, but it is very combat heavy, and at times you just kind of want the puzzles and the story, and especially 3. I found 3 really combat heavy and a bit much in spots. So this is the opposite, the complete opposite of the spectrum. There's like no combat in this, right? You're just running away.
just hide.
So yeah, there's no real combat. There's puzzle solving, and you do actually have to defeat the 4 characters that are chasing her down using puzzles.
Okay.
You have to overcome them
that's
via
kinda cool.
puzzles. And one of them, it's like an active, it's chasing you. You're gonna die. You have to solve a puzzle while you're stuck in the room with it.
Overcome the internet with these puzzles.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's very stressful game. Lot of fun. I cannot recommend this game enough if you like horror games.
Yeah, solid pick.
Dig it.
Hell yeah.
Good choice, man.
Especially,
That's cool.
especially if you're a silent or not a silent. The fuck's that series again? Clock. Especially if you're a Clock
Clock
Tower
Tower.
fan.
Clock Tower.
Yeah, because this one, what is it? Came out after Clock Tower 3, which was also a Capcom game. So they basically, I think that one was supposed to be like a spiritual successor to Clock Tower because they're really fucking similar, but a lot less like cartoony, like Clock Tower 3, as weird as that is to say.
Okay, so I didn't know there was a Clock Tower 3 then. It's weird that that's the direction they went. They did this game as well as a Clock Tower 3. I played the SNES one, but that's interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
Clock
what
Tower.
Charge, you right. It was an oversaturation of the genre. Like there was quite a bit of horror on the PS2, especially toward the end of its life. That's interesting.
Let's look that up.
Everybody was tired of tank controls. They just wanted to run straight for a second, stop spinning in circles.
Well,
God
wasn't this
damn.
analog, Wolf? It had to have been analog, right? Wasn't PS2 all
Yeah.
analog? Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know. Because Silent Hill
Wow.
2 was tanky
Sony
controls.
superfan
I've
over
never
there.
played this game. No. Oh yeah. Okay. This fucking guy.
I mean,
He's just mad he
God
didn't get to
damn.
steal my game.
There was two Siren games. There was an Echo Knight game. There was like 3 Fatal Frame games, and then you had
Right.
RE4. And there was
Yep.
2 Silent Hill 4. No, 3 Silent Hill 4s on there, or not Silent Hill 4. 3 Silent Hills on there. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
there was 3, The Room, and what was the
and
other
then,
one?
It wasn't 2. Wasn't 2 on PS2?
Yeah, 2. Yeah, 2. You're
2,
right. You're
yeah.
right. Yep.
And the,
Which is
and
my
Cold
favorite.
Cold Fear. There's another deep cut for everybody. Cold Fear. Shout out to Cold Fear.
Quick shout out to Cold Fear. RC Cola and Cold Fear, Big Red. That's our.
All in
Big
great
Red.
flavors and
sponsors.
caffeine free. Yeah.
Oh boy, who's next on the
Have
old
that
rotation?
You are Aaron.
Diet Cold
You
Fear.
lead.
Yeah, it's up to
Ooh.
you. What pick do you want to go first?
Oh, man.
Caffeine-free fear.
Caffeine free Big Red. Oh man, okay. So Sushi Striker, right? Everybody knows Sushi Striker, right? No.
So I do
Okay.
actually, but I almost bought it, but I want to hear you talk about it.
You should have. I had to like lean forward to this because I get really passionate about Sushi Striker.
Oh boy.
So, oh man, there's a lot. First of all, the production value in this game is fucking insane. There's like a little anime intro at the beginning that just hypes the living piss out of you. It's so fucking upbeat and so fun to just like get one of these going to right at the beginning. And then there's all sorts of like little anime cutscenes while you're going through the story and shit. You're going along like this map, basically almost like a Final Fantasy X kind of world map where it's like dot dot dot. Here's your destination, and then shit like that. But you're basically just going from like stage to stage to stage, defeating enemies in combat. And the combat, holy fuck, there's so many levels to this. So it's just like a puzzle game. I think there's like, so it's like a sushi conveyor belt kind of thing. There's, I think, 3 belts on your side, one in the middle that both you and your opponent share, and there's 3 on the opponent's side as well too. And basically, you're just connecting plates of the same color, as many as you possibly can. And then once you do, your character will eat the sushi. You'll have a stack of plates on your table. And that's how you attack the opponent, is by throwing stacks of plates. So you'll make as many stacks, like rack up just a shit ton of stacks, and like the damage you do to your opponent with each attack kind of accumulates based on certain things. Like if you chain together 1 or more hits of the same color of plate stacks, if you happen to have like a rainbow plate in your plate stack as well. You also have these like Pokemon like sushi sprites that add different kind of abilities too. Like the main one you get in the story. What's his name? I don't remember his name. It's like Jiraiya or something like that. But he has an ability that makes it so you can link every single plate on the screen in just like one gigantic stack. There's just shit tons that you can mix and match their abilities together to try to make the perfect loadout. There's also other items you can equip, different ways to alter like how fast the belts go during combat. There's just so many fucking layers to the combat, and to top it off, it's just a fun little story, little Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing where it's like the world. What is it? The sushi sprites create and control sushi, but there's this evil empire that's like, no, we're taking the sushi sprites, so only we can have sushi. So everybody else in the world is like, oh, you can only have berries and shit. And so you as what the fuck is the main character's name?
I wish the
I don't
video would
remember.
help, but I think it's in German right now for some reason, so that's no
is
good.
it the blonde kid?
Yeah, is it-
yeah.
Azumi?
Mashumi. Yeah.
No, it's it'll come to me later on. But yeah, you play as the main character who's just like, this shit don't
Musashi?
fly.
Musashi.
There we go, Musashi.
Yeah.
He's like, this shit don't fly. I'm gonna get sushi back for everybody. So he goes on this quest to beat the Empire. Everybody gets sushi back, but all along the way, yeah, super fun. You can't play online on the 3DS anymore, which was like, because it came out on 3DS and Switch,
Oh.
and like
Okay.
the 3DS is probably the best way to play with your little stylus, just getting all in there and precise. And the Switch, you could still, I guess, with your finger and stuff. I don't know how the hell it works on like when it's docked or something, but
It's
Sushi
probably-
Striker
it's pr-
rules.
No Nintendo, there's probably motion controls with the Joy-Cons, but
Right.
which would be
It probably
awful.
is.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was on the 3DS. I just knew on the Switch because when the Switch first came out, I was all in on the digital front. I was all over that eShop because there's so many games that were not $60, right? They were $20 or less, and I was scooping them up. And this is one of the games that I almost picked up. I saw it. The only reason I didn't is it looked really hard, and I have kids, and it looked like it was a bit fast paced for them, so I didn't pick it up. I kind of regret it. This reminds me of a puzzle game called Clax. I don't know if you guys remember Clax.
Oh, yeah, I
hell
remember
yeah.
Clax. I had
Pretty
that
much
for the
every
Lynx.
system. Yeah. So, but this is obviously competitive. You're fighting somebody, but the whole matching stacks, and in this case, you're throwing them as a weapon is really cool.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's like Clax on cocaine, which is it's a very strange thing. But I'm into it. This looks awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you have a 3DS and you can track the 3DS version, you'd be like super fucking cheap. Like Amazon was just basically giving it away for like $5. Like you can just get a
Right.
copy for $5, but I don't know anymore. That's my favorite way to play it. I have it on Switch as well too, but it's almost always just $40 unless you happen to just get a gift card or something. I don't know.
Right.
Either way to play it, it's good. It's great.
Yeah, the Switch does have a touchscreen, which is probably one of the most underused features on that system. It doesn't get used nearly enough. It's nice to see games that take advantage of it for sure.
Yeah, that one especially. You can also just flick the plates at people, and that's really cool too.
But I'm
always
skipping
like
ahead in the
these
video
episodes 'cause we
and
always-
shit, it's
we
fast.
always talk about like we get to learn about games that maybe we would be interested in that you'd not heard of, that you haven't had the opportunity to hear about. So this is some cool shit. I love these episodes. I'm always like, what am I
Chock
gonna
full
play
of them.
next? I'll just wait for a Hidden Gems episode and someone will tell me what I should play next.
Yeah, this
Like
is
Final
pretty
Fantasy
rad.
Tactics.
Never heard that one before.
Final Fantasy X-2. I don't fucking know.
The 2 means
There it is.
it didn't sell so well. That's what it means. This is awesome. I don't have much to say except I love the graphics. I think it's a really cool style. It kind of reminds me of that Tetris Puyo Puyo game that was on the Switch as well with the cutesy
Oh,
anime
yeah.
graphics. But the gameplay in this one looks hell of a lot better, a lot more polished. But it's pretty rad.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, I wonder if it's the
I-
same studio.
Can barely
Insanity.
tell what's happening in the game.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
make your eyes cross.
Who made this one, Aaron? Do you know?
Let me look. I'm pretty sure it was. No, I'm not sure. All I know is that it was like
Let me
first
see.
party Nintendo. Let's see.
Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido.
Indies
It's a
Zero.
great- Indie Zero.
It says that it was developed by Indies Zero, who also did. Dang, holy cow! So they developed Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory for Xbox One. Oh, they did a bunch of theater rhythm, and
okay.
Dr. Kawashima. Oh, and NES remix. Okay,
Oh, I love that game.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, they did NES remix.
they did a little bit of that.
As long as they didn't do
Okay.
Chain of Memories, we're fine.
And they
I'm
did
looking,
Big
I'm
Brain
looking.
Academy. Okay. That's legit.
Oh,
I
they
wish I
didn't.
knew this before.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Okay.
We know what Jake's next episode is going to be about.
Sushi Strikers, 60 minutes. That's what we're going to do.
Let's go.
We'll do a combo episode. Sushi Strikers for the first half, and then follow it up with Final Fantasy Tactics, because that game does not get enough attention. That's just the way it is.
Strong,
No, it doesn't.
strong hidden gems dissected.
All right. I'm just going to stall for a second as I pull my video up, because
Wow.
that's how it works when I'm doing this.
This is
Give me one
probably
sec.
Jake's game of the year. This next game is going to be Jake's game of the year.
Look, asshole, it might be. It might be, because I've been playing a lot of it, actually, because I was reminded of how good it is. One
Yeah.
could say it's a treasure as I hit the buttons. Like Crusader, which is a game by Treasure. I'm going to unpause the video. And that's what we're going to do.
It is.
Oh, I think I've heard of this one.
I think if you...
For
if
Genesis,
you
right?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's actually Treasure's last released Genesis title. Why is it not playing? So Treasure is, I think I mostly know of them as the company that makes kick-ass hard games, especially shooters. Gunstar Heroes. They also did Dynamite Heady, which is a fantastic platforming
Oh,
game.
okay. Yeah.
They,
Hell
but
yeah.
those
I
are
can-
awesome
I see the
games, but
artwork
they're
now,
well
yeah.
known. Yeah, but this is
Yeah.
this is a game that I think from them that is lesser known because it's nothing like that. It's actually a dungeon crawling RPG-ish type action RPG game, which is wild for Treasure, and I don't think people realize that. So this is a Sega Channel special for me. This is when I played it back then when I had the Sega Channel as a kid. No idea what to expect with it. You start it up, and it's one of those top-down, three-quarter view, isometric type views. And right off the bat, I know some people here don't like that kind of view. They don't like isometric platforming. Those people are wrong because it's great, especially when Mario's involved. But I'm going to talk about this game is better, maybe in a way, because there's shadows. So you can actually see where the hell you're jumping.
Why?
This is important.
Whatever.
Mario
Fine.
RPG is pretty good. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway,
So you
it's a
play as Gary
dungeon-
Busey?
That's duck butter sausage.
Oh, I could see that.
like Crusader, starring Gary Busey. Oh my God. Shit, now I can't
Wolf, I
unsee
love
that.
you.
That's pet justice.
Now that I look at it, it's like his face has been melted with acid. That's not a good look for the hero. That's awful.
Gary
Ooh.
You play
Ooh,
as-
I've got a,
you play-
a good photo.
You play Sir
I know it.
David, and you're basically you enter this town, and the townspeople are disappearing into the dungeon. In some ways,
Sir
it reminds
Gary?
me of Diablo in a way, although obviously not as dark, and there's no loot involved. But it's an action platforming game, kind of like Landstalker. For those who played Landstalker, also on the Genesis, it reminded me at first glance like that. But this one's a lot more light and less grueling and punishing in the puzzles. Landstalker is a game that I know a lot of people fall off of because of how difficult it is. This game's a lot more straightforward. There's definitely puzzles, pushing up blocks, stacking things, using spells, but it's not as punishing. But I love it because two things. First thing, it's kind of stupid, but everything in the game can be pushed. Even the townspeople. You literally just walk into them and they slide across the floor. And you just push them. They don't do nothing. They don't react. They don't talk. It's as if they don't realize that you're just slowly shoving them across the floor. Like, was it Jamiroquai, that music video where he slides across the
Jamiroquai.
floor?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
that's what it reminds me of.
Insanity.
the
Traveling
entire
without
game.
moving. Great album.
Yes, that's the one. It's just awesome that you can slide everything. And to the game's benefit, you do use that in puzzles. There's puzzles where there's a lamp or something, and it's a laser emitter, and you have to hit it to change the direction of the laser, and then you slide it across the floor, freeform, to line up with the door and open them up. It's cheesy and hacky, but it kind of works for what they're doing in this game, and I love it. I love a lot of the townspeople. They don't have a lot to say, but all of them have unique sprites, and there's a whimsy to the character designs I like quite a bit. But the best standout feature of this game is the magic system. There's 4 elements, right? I think it's air, water, spirit, and fire. And you, at any time, you can pull up the menu and you can equip different combinations of the elements and get different spells.
Ooh.
So, like, if you combine, I'm going to make it up, but you combine water with spirit, you get a cure spell. You do it with fire, it's a heal spell for getting rid of poison.
Very Fantasy Star. Very Fantasy
Yeah,
Star.
or you
4
do
kind of combination.
exactly. You do earth, and it's just a rock, but you do earth with fire, you do a fireball. So there's like a number of combinations of different spells, and it's just fantastic. I have not seen that done in an action game like this. I don't think ever, right? Like you mentioned, some Final Fantasy games let you do that, but this is pretty awesome. So it's an interesting combat. Tons to explore. It's not a hugely long game. I think when I was a kid, I beat it in under 15 hours, so not super long, but that's okay because like a game like this, especially if you get stuck on a puzzle, you don't want to bounce. So I think overall the challenge is pretty good. But I love it. The physics, the sliding things around, the platforming is there. I know people don't like that, but it's not super difficult. It's not like Solstice or Equinox where if you miss a jump, you hit spikes and you die instantly. You actually have a life bar, so it's not as punishing. There's also bosses. The bosses are fun. I'll see if I can find one of the bosses in the video. They're very interesting designed. They have mechanics, different phases. And it's just cool. Like this is, I'm gonna pull up for the people watching the video. It's a thing with eyes popping out of holes, which that might trigger some people. But he has different
Look away,
wild attacks.
Star.
Yeah,
Look away.
look away. Avert your eyes,
Oh.
but keep listening because we need the views. But especially for this kind of genre of game, to see a boss that has like, you know, patterns of attacks, different attacks, it's definitely a treasure game at its heart, because those are kind of games where it's known to have like patterns for the bosses, right, and different depth of mechanics, and you have that in this game, even though it's not the kind of genre that you expect from Treasure. So, sorry, I rambled on a lot, but I think this is a great one.
That's okay.
Ramble. No,
Oh,
this is
that's
good.
okay.
This looks fun. This
Yeah.
I like the platforming doesn't seem like it'd be. Well, here we go. Now we got floating platforms. That's going to completely change my mind. The jumping seems like it's a little bit better than the mysterious game that I hate that has the isometric jumping. I like the action in it. I think it's pretty cool. I was going to be under the impression that this was going to have some kind of turn-based combat in it, but it doesn't have. It has some pretty cool action-y type combat. It's got some cool puzzles. It's like if they demade Elden Ring and you threw them in a dungeon. That's kind of what I'm getting with this.
It made it a shit ton easier than Elden Ring. It's not it's not particularly difficult, I think. I find because you have a health bar that's pretty generous, I think.
Right. Well, you have a health bar in Elden Ring too. It just doesn't fucking matter. But
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the animation looks good. I'm really impressed for a 1995, I believe, game.
I think so.
It
Yeah.
looks really clean on the Sega. It's extremely well done. This is definitely something that maybe as a child I should have picked up and given a shot, because it's scratching the itch a little bit on certain things. This is cool. This is what Mario RPG should have been.
I do remember reading
Gary
about this in
Busey.
like EGM and GamePro, but I never actually got to try it out.
Yeah. One of the
Magic
things
system
about
sounds-
Phantasy Star that I like was the combination, making the super spells out of the combinations and stuff of
Right.
the characters, and adding that to this. It's probably not to that extent, of course, but I still think it's a pretty cool. You do like a diving slash thing. That's kind of cool. You're fighting a dragon in the video. For those of you who are not watching the video, listen to podcasts. There's a fight between a very when people were using balls to connect necks and tails during the 95 movement of balls
Pinnacle
fighting
graphic
game, brought
design.
to you
Yeah.
Pinnacle graphic design. It's made everything look more pliable. You're fighting a dragon here, but he's doing like this literal Superman flying stab thing on him, and it's pretty,
Hell yeah.
pretty clever.
Yeah, it's weird to say, like, you know, isometric action RPG, that you do not imagine the game seemingly playing like Golden Axe, but it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually
it's very
really
fast-paced combat. Like it's not slow at all. And like when you beat the boss, he does a flourish with his sword. It's a style to it.
This makes me wonder if it has RA. I should look it up.
Chivos? Oh,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's on RA.
It reminds me of Castlevania Circle the Moon a little bit, because you
Okay.
could mix them. Holy shit! You could mix and match the cards and make like you would mix a god with like a certain element, and then make like stone armor or something stupid, or like that kind of shit. That's so cool. More games need to do that.
And you're fucking Sir Gary Busey. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a great one. And like I said, for a game made by Treasure, which is one of, I think, the more well-known studios in retro gaming right now, is Treasure, because everybody knows they make great games. This is one that I never see on those lists, right? It's always Dynamite Heady. It's always, was it UQ Commissioner
Ronald
Makers
McDonald.
was Treasure? Yeah. Ronald McDonald, yeah, that's another one of them. Actually, that's a good one too. But yeah, I mean, an action RPG on the Genesis. Especially for the system, the Genesis does not have that many role-playing games or even games
No.
like this. So it's
Can
nice.
confirm.
Yeah, so like this is one that at least is good on that system.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Nice. I dig it. That's a cool one. That's that one came out of left field on this one. I dig that one. I think that's a cool looking game.
What left field? It could be a hidden gem.
It might be a hidden gem from Treasure. Ironic.
Let's loop back, I guess. Let's go back to Chard. See, we didn't steal your picks.
You didn't. Well, I'm going to stay in the same vein.
Show me
of
Final
the-
Fantasy Tactics.
I know. Show me. What is a hidden gem that everybody knows about? Anyways, so I'm gonna stay within the whole horror horror game sequence, and this is actually
Nice.
this surprises me that this would even be considered a hidden gem, but it's actually probably more of a hidden gem than the first game I talked about, according to Jake and his stats that he found for me. We're gonna talk. No, don't shake your head, Jake. You got me good stats to be
Okay.
like this is arguably a hidden gem.
Sorry, I'm like that dog in Haunting Ground. I'm just so used to the
Or I
neglect
beat
and the
you.
abuse. When I
Yeah,
get praised, I
used to.
don't know how to recognize it anymore. It's
Wow.
just, you know, so beaten
Go
for
give
my
me
picks every week.
medallion.
You
Go
know?
get me that medallion on that ledge, please.
Yeah. Okay.
You fuck nerd. Anyways, this game is extremely popular amongst my group of friends, and we do this game quite often on our scary Saturday night streams that I'll eventually bring back to Chardbunk at twitch.tv. This game is called Devour. It's a 4-person co-op game, and the entire intent of the game is to stop a demon from gaining more power and basically killing you. You play with a group of people, up to 4, and you get a UV light. And the concept is you collect possessed items. Some of them are rats, some of them are goats, some of them are stones, and some of them are, oh, what's the shit that we get in the Western place? I don't know. I forget. It's been a while since we played it. But you have to light an altar that's on every level, get it on fire, and then toss the possessed items into the fire to make them unpossessed. So you take goats with red eyes, books, thank you. You take goats with red eyes and you sacrifice them in the altar. And basically you have to do this 10 times to exorcise the demon. And as you're doing this, the demon becomes more and more angry and will grab you, jump scare you, because the jump scares in this are pretty audacious and pretty crazy. And throw your body somewhere in the house, and somebody has to come and get you and kind of not bring you back to life, but heal you and get you back on your feet. Otherwise, if everybody goes down, then the game's over and the demon wins. This is a biog party. It's a bring your own goat. But while you're in the house, you have to find keys to unlock rooms that are in certain spots that may have a goat or something that will attract the goat. So you have to get hay in this the psycho ward. You get trash to attract rats.
So when you said goat, I was thinking like goat statues or something. No, you mean literally you got to go through a house to find real goats?
You find goats. Yes, they are all locked up in a pen.
Okay.
So the premise is that they're trying to call forth, what's the demon? Azazel. The demon Azazel. There's a group of people that worship the demon Azazel. And each level is one of the characters that you can play as is level. And they are currently in a almost completely oppressed possession by Azazel. And they get triggered and you'll hear growling and snarling and shit. And then it chases you. So you have to run from it. You have to hit it with UV light to calm it down. And if you don't, it grabs you and it does this cutscene where it screams in your face and shakes everything around, and then it drags your body somewhere in the house or field or wherever. While you're doing this, demons come out of the ground, ghosts appear, and they chase you, and you can get taken out by them. There's a whole level with a half spider woman, so if you're terrified of spiders, it is awful for anybody who hates spiders. And then there's a really cool butcher meat locker level that they just recently added, and they're pretty consistent. It takes a while for them to get each level out, but when they do, nothing's broken really in this game. It was pretty early access when we first started playing it, but it never felt totally broken. It didn't crash. We didn't get stuck in things, and it feels like they take a lot of time to give you something good. So each level has its own uniqueness to it, its own, each character you have to chase, so the demons look different in each area. It's really, really well done. I absolutely love Devour. I actually started playing it in VR to get that little bit of extra jump scare. And it delivers. I love playing this in VR. It is horrifying in VR.
That's a tiny ass goat. I was waiting for the video to show off a goat. They're pocket goats. Those are pretty small. That's wild.
You grab them by their neck and then you throw them in the fire. And they squeal when you throw them in the fire.
These Steam
I-
reviews, dude.
Yeah, the Steam reviews are good.
Oh my
Devour is a
god,
great game. I love this game.
this first one, if this first one, he's like, I how the first one says, "I love it when black men chase me," which like that's this next one though. Holy shit, this one got me real good. This is the first time they got the product for free. It says, "Good game. I wish there was sex."
I mean,
What
it's
was
got
the other
everything
one that we
else.
read about the other day? I know it's
know.
got everything else. It's
Oh
good
my
for good
God.
jump scares. It's great with friends. Would highly recommend if you guys are looking for something to co-op with and run around to play. And as far as I know, it's not super expensive either. It's pretty cheap
Yeah.
to pick up still. And it's worth it. It's worth every penny that they put into this game.
That's awesome.
They do like Halloween events. They do, silly Easter egg events for Easter, but it's all horrifying, They do some really cool shit. So
Do you chase
they're
bunnies in that
constantly
one?
working
Please
on
tell
it.
me you catch rabbits instead of goats in the Easter event.
No,
Because
I don't know.
Okay.
You might. There are some that those change, or they'll put like bunny ears on the rats instead. Some silly shit like that.
So
But,
like I played
no.
with your group before. Like we played Helldivers a couple times, and I played Phasmo, right, which is another
you did.
horror co-op game. But the difference with Phasmo is I never know what the fuck I'm doing with any of the items. I just follow you guys and I try not to die. I know to hide in closets and stuff. That's all I do. But I never know what I'm doing with the items. This game, why the hell have we not played this? I would play this and I'd be okay at it. Like you're breaking out the UV light to scare away demons. This game looks hilarious.
It's great
so
and
much
it's
better.
simple. There's not a lot of mechanics to it. You just grab the shit to attract it, you pick it up, and you take it to the altar. And you have to plan it. It's so well designed that we have to sit at the altar and say, okay, we're gonna do 4 on this round. Each one of us grabs one, and then we'll do 2 here. So that's 2 people drop off, but we have some freedom to chase some other stuff around, and then we do 4, and you have to plan it out, or it just gets crazy. This game gets way harder than Phasmophobia does. When you're up to like 8 to 9 like sacrificial items in any level, then it's just chaos. There are just people are dropping. You're trying to res them back up. You get perks too. Like the more you play it, you get points and stuff, and you can put them into yourself.
Cool.
To get some cool perks that makes you run faster when you're being chased, or you res people faster, but you can only have like 1 perk on at a time. So as a group, one person can be the healer, the other person can be the runner. If you have a relic in your hand, you run faster. Like some really cool stuff that you can. It's got robes you can change. It's got flashlight skins. It's got all kinds of silly shit that you can like add to the game. Like I'm not kidding you. Like it's got all this really cool stuff. I adore Devour, and
That's cool.
I'm very happy to know that this is a hidden gem because more people need to know about this. A lot of people are playing Phasmo. They love it. It's the same kind of concept, except it's got demons and it's way fucking scarier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more simple. There's no picking up the shit before you go in. You just go in balls to the wall and you try to survive as long as you can with your group of friends, and you get some good laughs because people scream. When I've not heard Sinistar scream very often in my life, but I'll tell you what, playing Devour, that man can roar when he gets grabbed by something.
Yeah, I would totally love to play this because I like Phasmo too. Don't get me wrong, Phasmo's a fantastic game, but it's definitely feels more complicated. This seems to be more easy to get into with friends. I like the graphics. I like the cloth physics on the drapes and stuff. Just this looks great, and the fact that it's being updated regularly, that there's events for seasonal events. Like when we looked at, I can't remember the numbers chart, but when we looked at Steam charts, there's not that many people playing this on any given night, which is a shame because this looks like a great one for sure.
Yeah,
it's only $5.
It's
Holy
$5.
Shit.
Instant buy.
That's it.
At least 15 to 20 for how much time I've spent on this game. It is dirt cheap and absolutely worth picking up, and it's so simple and it's fun and it's great with friends. I would recommend it for anybody. So anybody watching this game who doesn't already own it, which is 90% of the people that watch this podcast because they all play with me, go grab it. Go grab it because this is a great game. Jake, we'll take you in. You should come with us next time. We'll
$5. Why not? I would definitely buy this for $5.
I'll get the VR out and we'll go hunt some demons.
Reminds me of like
VR
Evolve, if Evolve was good.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Evolve.
Oh man, Evolve had such promise and they shit on it.
It did. Rip to a real
So
one.
that's
That's a
yeah,
good game.
that's
Yeah,
my
that looks good.
that's my runner up to Hidden
That-
Gems, I guess.
That's the thing with these games like this genre. There's like a ton of these horror co-op games we mentioned before. But I feel like a lot of them are always launching in early access, and I feel like they don't get finished, right? What
Mhm.
was the one that
Mhm.
would just finally hit 1.0 after 7 years? Was it something? Was it The Forest? No, there's
No,
one. There's one that's been out
you're
for
right
7 years.
though.
And
I'm trying to
yeah.
think of which one it was, but you're right. Yeah.
Oh,
There's one where
7
they're
Days
like,
to
it's
Die.
finally released, and we're like, bro, we've been playing this. It might be 7 Days to Die,
Yeah.
actually. No, it's been out longer than that. I don't know what it is. I'll have to
Yeah.
remember what it is.
But I'm always leery of games that go into early access and never finish, or just get abandoned because they don't take off. I'm really impressed with the commitment the developer has for this. I wonder if it's one person or if it's a team, but either way, I mean, $5 and they're still updating it is awesome. This
I believe
looks
it's
great.
it's a team. It's a small team, but I think it's a team that's doing it.
Yeah, that's really
And
rad.
that monster's fucking terrifying, dude. Like,
Those,
I'm looking at a screenshot on Steam where it's got like its arms like this, and it's
yeah,
just
you're
long
looking at the
and
psych
fucking-
ward. She's got the red
Yeah.
crazy hair. Oh, dude, when you get
Ugh.
grabbed, find a jump scare of that, and you'll see what it's like to get. Honestly, I like people
Ugh.
going in blind and not expecting what it's going to be like, because it's a whole nother level. Like it is about, there's actually in the options, there's an accessibility to turn off jump scare and screen shake when you get grabbed, because it can be that intense.
Really?
some people.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you can
I
shut
wanna-
it off
I
so
wanna
you
try
can
that
play
now.
without it. So. Oh, the old
That sounds
wheelchair, yeah,
badass.
wheelchair upstairs, people. But no, this is check out Devour, play it with your friends, play it with me. It's a great game.
That's awesome. All right, good pick. Again, another great horror game that is. I know you know it really well, but a lot of people I'm willing to bet do not. So that's awesome.
Sweet.
Aaron, your second pick.
Yeah, Etrian Odyssey Nexus. I still don't know if you pronounce it Etrian or Etrian. I'm just going to go with Etrian. But it's it came out pretty goddamn late in the 3DS's life, so probably not a lot of people know about this one. But it's basically just like an amalgamation of the there was like I think 5 games that came before, like Etrian Odyssey 1 through 5. It basically did like a best of, like mashed it all into one gigantic game, which was Nexus. And basically it's just like a dungeon crawler where like the top screen it's just like a first person dungeon crawling, kind of like like the first Phantasy Star or Phantasy Star 2
Okay.
and stuff. Then yeah, you're just cruising along through a dungeon. There's occasionally like levers and chests and stuff like that you'll have to interact with to like open up passages and further into the dungeon, or to like get around. Like in the mazes there will be these big gigantic enemies that are far more powerful than you are, called FOEs. I forget what exactly it's not foe. I forget what exactly it stands for, but you'll have to find a way to get around them and stuff. All the while on the bottom screen of the 3DS, you'll be drawing your map with your stylus. So you just draw like the
Okay.
walls. You can put like drag a little icon to like where a door would be or stairs. And I think there is an option to turn on like auto map, so you can just go through the dungeon and it'll automatically map everything for you. But yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, you can draw the map. And holy shit, you make all of your characters, like you'll start by picking a class, and each class has different like character portraits you can pick from. Like they'll have recolors of different ones, but there's so many fucking cool classes you can pick from. I should have had like a class list pulled up, but they're just it's so out of the box compared to like say they don't have like just your plain warrior or like mage or fucking thief or whatever. Instead they have, oh, what is it? There's one, I think, oh, I forget what the hell it's called, but it revolves around like sending out these circles around like an enemy or an enemy team, and it'll either like it'll either disable like their arms or their head or their legs, or it'll put like a healing ring around your team or something like that. There's a tank there's like a tanky beefy class that has this like gigantic spear that can like heat up and do like a shit ton of damage, but if you're not careful, you're not paying attention, it can overheat and you'll just lose your turn basically.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those games where you'll have 3 characters in the front row, 2 in the back row. Your front row is your like either your tanky beefy boys that can take hits, block hits, or just dodge. Your back row is your squishy fellas like mages or like an archer or healer or something like that. Oh, shout out to the Sovereign. The Sovereign is like a really awesome like support healer class where it'll do a buff, or like it'll apply a buff to like a row of teammates but also heal them at the same time. Then you can do other things to like augment their attacks with a certain element while also healing them, which is fucking sweet. But but yeah, when you're making your characters, you can take a look at their skill trees and shit, which are also massive. There's a lot of really cool ways to like fine tune your characters and really synchronize your party during combat and when you're in the dungeons as well too, because you can gather resources and shit. And
Oh wow, there's
when
a
you beat
lot of
enemy,
spells. I'm just looking at it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Huh.
and it's got like a monster hunter kind of like flow to it too, because when you beat enemies, they'll drop materials, and then you can leave the dungeon, go back to town, rest up, save your game, sell all your shit, unlock new weapons. So whenever you do get to like a new dungeon, you find new enemies, it's like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna get much better gear this time around. So you beat the shit out of them, go back to town, get better gear that lets you go further into the dungeon, and then continue that same cycle as you go on, and eventually come across a boss. And bosses they'll have like hidden what is it like hidden hidden spots, or like hidden ways. Like if you hit
Like a
them a
weak
certain
point
way,
or- Yeah, like a weak point or something, or
it's like
Like
when
targeting
you
body points, right?
kind of like that, but like when you hit them with like a certain thing or in a certain part, they'll hidden drops. They have hidden drops where like when you do something specific to a boss, you'll get like a hidden drop material that'll get you some super powerful badass like piece of gear. Um, but yeah, man, there's a lot of dungeons. There's a lot of classes, a lot of ways to customize. Um,
Are
it's
they
it's nuts,
randomized
man.
dungeons? Do you know, or are they fixed layouts of the dungeon layers?
That I don't know. I think they are fixed. I think
Okay,
they're always the same. I'm pretty sure.
this is
Hmm.
rad. This reminds me a lot of old school PC dungeon crawlers.
Yeah.
Actually, Sinistar
Yeah,
might
yeah.
actually, if I know Sinistar may not be the greatest anime fan, but this gameplay looks straight out
Yeah.
of the PC era of games.
yeah, it does. It really does.
And I love how it's like, I love how you like those old games. You build your characters, you name them, pick your portraits. You get to pick what class they are. Although this is way more in depth with skill selection and stuff, which I love. I love that stuff. And yeah, the first person crawling. Gosh, what was the game that came out not too long, a couple years ago? It was a throwback like this too. Oh, it was a
Grimrock.
PC one though. Grimrock, yes. This looks better than Grimrock though, by quite a bit more.
Yeah.
Graphics look great. I like the idea of using the second screen as a map, and for using a stylus to track, like old school tracking and making maps. Because when I was a kid playing some old RPGs, I used to make maps on pen and paper as I went through,
Yeah.
and that's what this
Gotta
reminds
get that
me
Oh,
graph
yeah.
paper, baby.
of. Yeah,
How else you gonna navigate the fucking woods in Zelda?
yeah. Who made this?
Atlas.
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 Okay.
Is this
The
Yeah, okay.
yeah, they even had some DLC where you could get Persona costumes for certain classes too, like Persona
you could.
3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Of course you could.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, and they had like a kind of crossover with that. There's Persona Q and Persona Q2, where it's basically like it's Etrian Odyssey but with Persona characters and with the Persona vibe, because they have like the jazzy music all over the goddamn place. You instead of like building classes and building characters, you use their personas to make like to basically make their class and shit like that. So there's those two.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Pretty
this is like a genre. This is awesome, actually. I really like this one. Like the Japanese history with RPGs, like tabletop RPGs, has always been interesting to me because they base a lot of their tabletop stuff off of wizardry and a lot of the old school PC dungeon crawling games. They didn't really have. I mean, they have Dungeons and Dragons over there too, but for them, their RPGs look like more like, wizardry and stuff. And this reminds me a lot of like wizardry. Or something that's similar to that. Definitely with the Japanese Atlas spin on it for sure. I mean, anime waifus abound, but it's cool that you get to pick your portraits. Yeah, this is a rad pick. Is this on Switch at all, or is it just 3DS?
Etrian have Odyssey 1, 2, and 3 just got put on the Switch not too long ago.
And
but this is the 6th one, right?
Yeah. This one was on 3DS only.
I didn't know
the ones
there were
on
6
Switch. The ones on Switch play pretty well though. Like, of course, you don't use your stylus, and then you just hold right trigger and use the right stick to draw your map. But again, you can just auto map it and be just fine. There's still great fucking soundtracks too, especially in 3.
Bangers.
Love. Yep.
Bangers abound.
These were games that I wanted to play. The Etrian Odyssey franchise in general, I really wanted to play them, but there was too many other games I was already playing, so I never picked them up.
They'll eat up a whole lot of your time, dude. Like Nexus, I've spent like 250 hours on it just because I like to like run through dungeons and try different types of parties and shit. They're great though, especially that the 3 on Switch, man. They're worth picking up.
Is it a compilation or are they separate releases?
You can buy them separate.
I don't know.
I think
Atlas is a strange company. I like a lot of Atlas's games, but they're the company that will do like, do you want us to bring Persona 5 to the Switch? I don't know. You got to tell us, community.
They'll email you.
Yeah, and you're like, son of a bitch. We've been asking for Persona for how many years? And you're like teasing people now. Yes, we want Persona on the Switch. Like they have a weird relationship with fans when it comes to their games, and I feel like they don't always market their games as well as they should. I mean, clearly everybody knows Persona, but there's a lot of Atlas games that are fantastic and don't really get that look by people. This game I had heard the name Etrian Odyssey, I think in a Nintendo Direct, but I just thought it was, no offense to fans of the series, but I thought it was like a visual novel. I didn't realize it was this. I didn't realize it was like a dungeon crawling, old school dungeon crawler, selectable classes. Like this is a lot more in depth than I was expecting. This looks rad.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And 3 has like a little subsection where you can like sail a ship to different islands and gather materials and stuff.
Oh, really?
Pretty sweet. It's the whole collection on Switch for the 3 games. You can buy all 3 for $80, or
that's good.
Oh, you can buy each game separately for $40. What?
Yeah, that's Atlas, right?
Yeah,
that's
nuts. What?
Yeah, that's what they do.
Is it one of those that opens up after 200 hours kind of Persona games? So much.
Not really. Like you'll you start off like your characters, like I guess the more abilities and skills and shit that you unlock, the more variety you'll have to the game. It'll start off kind of slow because you'll be like, dude, this fucking combat is tough. But then once your party starts getting more in sync, it's like this last boss ain't shit.
Right.
Big old pushover.
Nice.
It's awesome. I have to check this one out. I love that era of gaming, but it's hard for me to go back to old school PC games like that. If this is on the Switch, or if I can probably get a 3DS emulator on the Steam Deck, probably I might check this out. Not that I have 200 hours to spare. I have so much Street Fighter 6 I got to play now, but I still want to check it out.
He's calling himself out now. Wonderful. We've done our job, Sinistar. We've done it.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is pretty good. That's all I'm gonna say. I got to do another round of that, and I did check out Starfield for a brief minute just to see if it looked better on my video card, but spoilers, it doesn't. But if I can squeeze in another couple hundred hours of gameplay this year, I'm gonna check this one out.
Jake will play anything if it's not Street Fighter 6. I think you played Marvel Snap last week.
Yeah,
I was playing Marvel Snap again. They've
literally
some stuff.
Anything other than what he's supposed to fucking play.
Fight them streets.
Fight the streets, man. Take them out.
Look, you don't tell me what to do, okay? I might be spinning the wheel of pain this year. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
You mean the wheel of Jake?
Yeah, the wheel. Well, okay.
Canada
Wolf
spins.
hasn't beaten his game yet, and GP I don't think has even started his game yet.
Wolf's gonna beat
my
his
game
game.
tends
I
to
have
happen
no doubt
during
in
the
my
summer.
mind. I have no doubt in my mind that Wolf will beat his game when he starts playing it. And GP probably already beat it. He just doesn't have time to tell us.
It's true. He's probably beating his next 3 Sicilian games without realizing it. I know what he's like. Look,
Yeah.
I'm confident in my ability to beat Street Fighter 6 this year and diamond rank it. I'm sure I'll be fine. I will not be spinning a wheel of pain. It's fine. I
I'm
have a couple
sure
hundred
I'll
hours to
be
spare on other games. There's lots of great stuff.
You know
Speaking
what
of
I
good
want?
games, go
Hold
ahead.
on. Hold on. I
Ooh,
want to
speaking
press
of
B to
games.
cancel shirt. That's Jake. It's Jake's face, and it just says it's gonna be fine. That's gonna be my new shirt. I'm gonna wear the shit out of that.
There's just a picture of Luke and Ryu on them underneath it. It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be
good.
fine.
It's
gonna be
fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
The
All
Earth
right,
is like
assholes.
exploding in the background. Or that'd be cool.
Fine.
Anyway,
My pick is a little hidden gem called Ghouls and Ghosts. Now, I know you're saying, yeah, I know. You're like Ghouls and Ghosts.
Wow.
That's not a fucking hidden gem. I've played that.
Thought we were being
Yes.
serious.
You've played that. But have you played the Sega Master System version? Because it's quite a bit different. Or at least I hope it is. Because I never got very far in the SNES and Genesis versions of this game. But when I play the Master System version, there's a few differences. First off, I have a lot of, nostalgia glasses for the Master System, but I recognize it's not the greatest looking system. And that, compared to the NES especially, the graphics aren't always necessarily there. The music is always maybe subpar. But this, on the Master System, it's hard to say, the SMS, it looks great. I think the graphics in this game are fantastic. It plays really well. It's very smooth. It's clearly a port of the arcade game. It looks great, sounds great. It's surprisingly better looking than I expected. But what makes it different than the Super Nintendo version or Ghouls and Ghosts and Genesis is occasionally when you get a treasure chest, it opens a door, a portal, and it's a store. And there's a storefront. And you can pick, and you basically pick your upgrades. You can upgrade your armor, your shield, your helmet, your boots, or you can pick your weapon. That is totally unique to the franchise as far as I know. And the benefits are, I think it's the helmet upgrades your magic. There's selectable magic spells in this game that you can use at any time, provided you burn the armor. If you upgrade your boots, it affects your jump height and your speed. Armor lets you get more hits. And that's always been the thing with this franchise for me. I'm terrible at these games. And when you get hit once and you lose your armor, you get hit twice, you die, it pisses me off. And I've never finished one of these games before, despite the infinite continues. They're brutally difficult. In this one, though, as you unlock the tiers of armor, you get, gold, obviously everybody's familiar with, but then there's red and green, and I think there's a fourth one. But each armor that you unlock gives you another hit, basically another heart of life. Makes it infinitely easier to play this game. Still hard, but it's a little bit easier. And I just dig it, right? And you have a spell meter. For the gameplay, let me bump ahead so you can actually see it, because this guy's running his underwear.
I will
There
say
you go,
this
red
guy's
armor.
not attacking anything. There,
Yeah,
he
I think
finally attacked something. Literally
might
looks
be a
like he's
speed
trying
runner.
to do a no-hit run. Yeah.
But
This
the
looks
level layouts are a bit
insanely-
different. There's different. Sorry, and there's a bit difference to the arcade ports. There's obviously similarities with some of the stages, but there are some unique stages as well. What you're saying?
I was gonna say it looks insanely good for the Master System.
Yeah.
Around that time, it looks. Yeah, holy shit! I mean, I don't know what video you guys are looking at. I'm just looking at screenshots on Google.
We're I would argue, I'm gonna argue in your favor, Jake, that this may not necessarily be a hidden gem per se, but the style and the uniqueness of this particular version may be considered a hidden gem compared to the other versions of this game. And I
Yeah.
think that's what you're trying to go for. Not
Yeah.
necessarily the game in itself. It's more or less the perks that you get within the game, because this is a very, very low res resolution or low res version of the Sega Genesis version, which is also a lower res version of the arcade version of of Ghouls and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts. It's Ghouls
Right,
and
but-
Goblins on.
But when I play
on
the Genesis version does have the vertical attack like this one does.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think it's more like the arcade where you unlock the one set of armor and that's it, or there might be two sets of armor, but you kind of get the items in the world as you're playing. And I think the stages are close to the arcade. There's difference in stages in this one, slightly variations. Part of that is because it's the
Mhm.
Master System and it can't replicate everything. It does a damn
Right.
well good try, right? I mean, you can see in the video right now, there's a water slopes, and you can see where the sprites kind of are not are not meant to be diagonal, and there's black
Right.
squares. But I mean, it is
Right.
what it is for the system. It still looks pretty decent.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
it's low res and it's understandable, but it's yeah. I think the point isn't the game itself. It's what the game provides outside of what we're normally used to for Ghouls and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts or Super Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever version.
super girls and ghosts.
Super Girls and Ghosts.
and that's an Atlas game.
That's
So-
an
Also, I need you guys to let me know. So what this franchise has always been famous for is you just can't beat it just once. It's always a 2-loop situation. If you want end credits, you have to 2-loop it. In this one, the way they handle it, I was watching the playthrough because it's hilarious to me. You beat the boss and you get to the final door, and then you get a pop up with an old man and your lady that you're trying to rescue, and the old man's like, "You can't beat Loki until you get the magic powder. Go back to the first town and get the magic powder." And then the lady comes out saying, "Unlock the greatest weapon and spells, and then you can have then you'll meet the battle goddess who will give you the ultimate weapon." So then it loops you back to the first stage, and that's the way it handles it. You don't get credits or the end. It literally tells you, "Okay, you're going back to the first town now. Sorry," and come back. And that's how they handle the second loop. I don't know if the SNES one does that or the Genesis one does. Do you guys recall?
The SNES does do a second loop,
Yes.
but it's you fight what you think is the final boss, and it goes, you can't get to the final area without the magic bracelet that was dropped along the way by the princess. Go back and
Yeah.
find it.
Oh,
And then you
Okay.
start back over at the beginning and have to loop the whole
Mm.
thing. Now you can play the game without the magic bracelet, but you have to fight the final boss with that bracelet to unlock the actual final boss, in which case then you go and fight him beyond the wall. It's a shit weapon. It is awful. It's a stupid weapon. It does
Yeah.
not make anything easier. It actually makes it fucking harder, which I'm sure is their goddamn intentions. But it can be done because I've done
So
it.
I'm going to skip ahead in the playthrough to the final weapon here. They call it like the cosmic blaster or some nonsense or something. And you get it after you basically have to go to every shop, get every armor piece, every spell, every weapon, and then the next chest you unlock, you get a small sprite of a battle goddess and a text message saying, here's the ultimate power, good luck. And then from that point on you have it. And so in the gameplay, it looks like a cross, but I don't know. It looks pretty powerful for what it is. It doesn't seem shitty like the bracelet was in the SNES game. But
It definitely
yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
look as bad, but you can also shoot up with this weapon. The other one you can't shoot up. I
yeah,
don't
in the
think you can
SNES game
shoot
you
down.
can't do vertical or downward attacks, right? It's different than the Genesis one. Yeah.
No, I don't. Do you get a double jump in this version? I don't know if you remember, because I felt like the double jump was kind of special.
There's a spell I think that gives you double
Super
jump.
Nintendo.
So the difference with this one from the Genesis one, as far as I recall, is there's actually a spell menu. You can pull up the spell menu, and there's multiple spells you can pick from, provided you have the right armor. I think at the very starting armor, you get Thunder and Fireball. Oops, I accidentally spoiled the game. Sorry, guys. As we see the end credits. But as you get other colored armors, you get more spells, and I think one of them is a double jump or a higher jump spell.
That's
So,
cool.
and that's what I think was interesting is like as long as you have the armor equipped, you can cast your magic and you can pick which spell you want. So I know the SNES one has spells, like you kind of charge them up to use them, but I think they're more explicitly tied to a weapon
They
or
are.
something.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's specifically tied to whatever weapon you have with the gold armor.
Yeah. So if like I think it is if you have the dagger and you charge up, you get the dragon.
Okay.
And
Yes.
then, yeah, it's stuff like that. So
Yeah.
each one has its own unique spell associated with it that you have to have the blue armor for, I think.
Mhm.
Or was
Yes.
it just the gold armor?
Oh,
that
it might
ice
be
level looks
just
like
the
a
gold.
bitch.
It might be just the gold armor that you have to do that with.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I mean,
you get that
I mean,
extra power when you get the gold armor.
is Ghouls and Ghosts a hidden gem? No, but I'm willing to bet when you think of Ghouls and Ghosts, or you've played it, you've probably played the arcade version, or very very likely you played the SNES one. That seems to be the most popular, or the Genesis one. I don't know anybody who's actually sat and played through the Master System version. I think that's a shame. I think it's a really great game. If I was a kid with the Master System and this is what I got for my birthday, I would have been fine with this pick. I would have been okay getting this for a holiday. Like it's not NES Superman, right? Like Kemco Classic. It's not a shitty game like that. It's an all-around solid game. And like I said, I love the system a lot. I keep saying, Double Dragon's one of my favorite versions of that game. Zillion's on there. There's a lot of great games on the Master System. There's also a lot of shitty stuff on there too. Sometimes it's hard to determine which is good and which is bad. But this is one where I think right from the get-go, it's a solid port of that game and a unique port of that game.
GP is going to give you so much shit.
This actually looks kind of interesting. Yeah, like this kind of falls in line with the idea that Master System tried to do things differently because it couldn't meet the demands of what the game was supposed to be originally.
Right.
So they changed it up, gave it a few new features, and made it playable in its own way. And for that,
it almost looks easier. Sorry, Wolf. Go ahead.
It does seem easier.
It might be, but it also might not be just because of the technical limitations of the console itself. It might be just harder because it has to be slower and more precise with what you're doing. Because Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins, these are very precise platformers. Super Ghouls and Ghosts gave you a little leeway with the double jump, but before the double jump came along, I was like, well, whatever you did, have fun with that.
Yeah,
that double jump will still be more times than I'd like to say.
Yeah.
The double jump that you need to fucking commit to your jump, because if you don't commit, you've made a terrible error.
But
God,
I
want to like this series so bad. Fuck.
It doesn't look as painful as Ghosts and Goblins for the NES. That one was
that game is
and the second loop is pretty standard for the franchise because that was also in the first one.
I think for me, what's hard with the NES one, which it's a different game, that's Ghosts and Goblins, right? Obviously very similar in theme, but the thing with that one is you have infinite continues, but you hit a point where it's skill and you just can't proceed because you suck, and you're forced to tell yourself, I can't do it, I have to stop. But you could keep going forever, and it doesn't matter because you're not good at it. I've beaten it. Have you? Okay.
I beat it on stream years ago.
Did you two-loop it? I guess you would have, right? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It was after I did Super Ghouls and Ghosts, like not right after, but a while after. Because I did the 2-loop of Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and then I went back and did Ghosts and Goblins sometime later. And after that, I was like, all right, let's check out regular Ghouls and Ghosts for the Genesis. And I couldn't do it because it looks like Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So my brain is like, I should have a double jump. But the game is like, no, you don't.
Nope.
You gotta separate
it was a problem
from it for a couple months, couple years before you play that because you're committed to what one version has and the other one doesn't. Why do I have a sword? Why the fuck do I want a sword? Give me something to throw.
Yeah. Let's put a boomerang in there. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that one? Fucking stupid PS2 game. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger X Super Ghouls and Ghosts. The crossover we didn't know we needed.
Yeah, right.
Is that a thing? Really? Okay.
No, I'm just being stupid. It's late for me.
All right. Well, I think, guys, Eric picked a really true hidden gem. I think nobody picked one that's a Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm sorry, GP. Not to shit on you for your pick that one time, but I think we all picked some good hidden gems.
Ghouls and Goblins, though. That's kind of
well, yeah, but we picked a different port of it, obscure port. I think that counts. Maybe next time I'll pick something more obscure like Tetris. There's probably a port of Tetris you guys never heard of.
I'm sure the committee needs to convene so we can either rule that a tactics or not.
And get voted off the island. That's great.
No,
press B island.
Yeah.
Press island.
Press B to get kicked off the island.
Oh boy. All right. I think that's an episode, guys. Aaron, one more time, thanks for joining us again this week. It's been great. I know a bunch of us did your show a few months back, which is a good time. Tell people where they can find your show again and just, explain what it is you do.
Hell yeah, the Super Pod Saga. It's you can find everything and anything and everything Superpod at superpodsaga.com. Every episode, our blog, because we write some pretty dumb stuff. I even wrote a blog article about Sushi Striker if anybody wants to read about it. Yeah, it's just every episode is a different topic, different guests. We just chit chat, have fun, hang out. These fellas, including I believe Sinistar. We all did. It was the 5th generation consoles, I believe. Yeah,
I think so.
PS1
yeah, 5th gen.
Yeah, and that was awesome. A lot of A lot of talking like this. I
Lot
forget how
of-
exactly it went.
A lot of Bostonians.
Yeah. Virginia
was-
Slims, I think, was referenced a few times.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Slims
Yeah.
were. Yeah.
More than a few. But yeah, it was a great time. Yeah, superpodstalk.com. Load it up on your favorite browser of choice. I don't know why the fuck that matters, but yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I think you guys also are on YouTube as well. I have links in the description of this episode of
Yep.
your YouTube and your main URL. So absolutely make sure
Yeah.
you guys check them out. I think I've seen a few people over there on your Discord. I know Jeff's a listener, which is great. Besides Okay For Yourself, what was the other thing I was going to mention? Chard, you and me, Sunday over on
Sunday,
twitch.tv/smite, SMIGHT. You and I are going to be doing our second round of Arcade Pit. I have a good feeling about this round. I think we won the first time we were on there. For those who don't know, Arcade Pit is a retro game show with challenges including music and art and gameplay. It's a lot of fun. So if you're around on Sunday at, was it 5 PST or 8 Eastern, please check us out there. We wouldn't mind having some people cheer us on.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Chard, you want to shout anything else out? You're streaming, right?
Yeah, back to streaming. I have to see if I can beat Jake out before he even gets through his Sisyphean game. I've extended my stretch goal. We've shelved Horizon Forbidden West just for a little bit, and I have found something I find that'll be much more challenging. And we are doing a rerun of DS3, and I have sworn that this year I will actually beat it on stream instead of recording the finishes and posting them on YouTube. Also, we have never played the Ring City or the Painted World of Andriel, so we're going to do the 2 DLCs as well. We're going to completely wipe every single boss off the map on DS3 before Jake gets diamond rank on Street Fighter 6.
Listen.
So come and hang out. Come and play games. Come and watch me rage. But I'm actually doing quite well. I'm going through it pretty quickly so far. Dark Souls 3. We're making it. Also, we've added our little helper, the Dark Souls compendium here. And we have
The
a
Dark Souls
segment that
cookbook.
I call Soulsder Piece Theater, where we will talk about the lore that's all in this book that Jake loves so much, and talk about characters, places, locations, weapons. And if you have any questions about it, we pull it up in the book and we talk about it during our Soulsder Piece Theater. So come and check it out.
Only Dark
Nice.
Souls needs a additional book to explain the fucking lore because it's not in game. It's only on item descriptions, which is wild to me. Also, what the hell's with this stretch goal thing? Who of you and Sinistar, who coined this fucking stretch goal thing? That wasn't part of
I
the
think it was
Sisyphean
Sinistar.
tradition.
I think it was Sinistar.
Stretch
Sinistar did it.
goals. Overachieving
we
my
stretch
ass.
goaled it.
What the
Well,
hell?
we wanted to. We
Yeah.
the idea. Now I'll speak for him. He'll probably tell me I'm wrong, but it's fine. The idea was we did open world games, right? So he did Witcher. I did Horizon Zero Dawn, and he and I both have an issue of playing open world games and getting overwhelmed with everything that's going on and not being able to finish anything. We bounce off of it. So we were going to force ourselves to play through open world games we've wanted to play after he was done with Witcher and I was done with Horizon. Obviously mine was way shorter than his because he played the whole thing, 120 hours of Witcher 3. And I started playing Forbidden West because it's the sequel and it's good. But I wanted something a little bit more difficult and, to be honest with you, mildly more entertaining, which I always find that playing Dark Souls is a little more entertaining than playing Forbidden West, which is whatever. The game's great, but I love Dark Souls. So
It's great.
There are
It's
things
boring.
that
It's okay. It's all right.
it's fine. I wanted to do stuff to it that I've never done yet. And I said, you know what? I've never done this on stream. I always bounce off of it and then I go and play it by myself because I'm sick of fucking, showing the rage to the people. But you know what? That rage is going to come out and you guys are going to see it and you're going to witness every bit of it. And if you don't like it, then go watch something else. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to fucking do it. I'm excited to do it. So that's where it came from. And now the Sisyphean thing has a part 2 for me this year because it's a game I've bounced off of and have not finished live, and I want to finish it live. I want people to be there when we complete this fucking bullshit so we can celebrate together and have a drink. That's the way. And I'm very chart-headed. Yes, that is a coined term.
I saw Sinister buy Street Fighter 6. I thought he's joking, but he legitimately bought it. And if he actually freaking beats it, my goal before I do, I'm going to freaking lose it. Wolf, how about you? Is there any...
He almost bought it for me.
You stick to Horizon Forbidden North, whatever it is.
I don't
fine.
have I need a joystick. I need a arcade stick.
I told you before, if you want help with the fight stick, I can help hook you up because there's a lot there.
Just send me one, and then I'll buy Street Fighter 6, and I'll diamond it before you.
Wolf, how about you? Is there anything you want to shout out, or something you're playing, or something you're doing?
Honestly, I've been playing a lot of RimWorld on the Steam Deck. It's it's surprisingly playable on the Steam Deck. That's
good.
I have a problem. I need to put it down and get back to the games I've been meaning to play instead of being hooked on my stupid little colony that I probably could have beaten weeks ago, but I was like, no, I want to do this way of beating it. And so
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna play some RimWorld here after the podcast tonight too. So I'm with you, Wolf.
Eventually I will get on to playing Turbo Kid and Okami, and I've got other games I wanted to play. Like, I wanted to have these games done so I could play this Gestalt steampunk Metroidvania game that's about to come out.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to because I have so many other games that I wanted to play before that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's at least 3 or 4 great indie games that came out in the last week and a half. Like I picked up Animal Well, and I shouldn't have because the game was really good.
Hell yeah!
But it took a lot of time. So yeah, it's been a great year for indie titles for sure.
Boys, I've got Erdtree next month, so here we go.
I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake, Chard. I think I did pretty good this year. Just what I'm saying.
Nope. We did it for an episode, not for Sisyphean.
Yeah.
We both beat it this year. Thank you.
It's a lot of homework for one episode. Anyway, please check out pressbtocancel.com or pressb.org. Or you can check us out on any of your favorite podcasting apps or right here on YouTube or on Twitch. If you like the show, please leave us a follow and a like. It helps out a lot. Or if you're listening, please drop us a review. Reviews are free, and we definitely appreciate it. But for now and this week, I am Sick Jake, and this is the whole Press B team. Thank you, and have a great week.
Gary Busey!